Welcome to the FemTales channel. Enjoy the show. Since my earliest memories, I have always desired to live as a girl. By the time I reached my late teens, I had accumulated a collection of girl clothes and accessories of my own. Around the age of 14, I started engaging in feminine activities such as shaving my legs and painting my toenails, anything that would make me feel more like a girl. Despite being trapped in a male body, I had to conceal these aspects of myself from the outside world. As soon as I arrived home and found privacy, I would swiftly switch from sneakers to flats. I also began growing out my hair in 9th grade, and the only time I had it cut was just before my senior year. I vividly recall being at the stylist's salon, pointing to a picture of a girl on the wall, yearning to resemble her with long, straight blonde hair, flowing down to just below the breasts that I wished I had. The envy I felt towards every girl was a painful reminder of what I desired. I longed for breasts, a shapely buttocks, and hourglass figure, and feminine features such as hips. I yearned to apply makeup. The intensity of these desires was overwhelming. Around September of that year, after a considerable amount of saving and personal introspection, I sat down at a computer and delved into research on hormones and dosages. Finally, summoning all my courage, I obtained a prepaid credit card and purchased my dream medications from an online pharmacy. I acquired a year's supply of estrofem and spironolactone. Several weeks elapsed before the much-anticipated package arrived. I hurriedly took it to my room and opened it, fixating on the little blue pills and the jar of spironolactone. Sitting on my bed, I ingested a Spiro tablet, patiently waiting for it to take effect. Initially, it seemed as if nothing was happening, but after about an hour, my nipples became slightly more pronounced, and a flush adorned my face. There was a subtle glisten on my cheeks, as though I had just finished a brisk jog around the track. I was captivated. The thrill of these initial changes was indescribable. It was a moment of arousal and anticipation. Before retiring for the night, I took another pill, eager for the journey that lay ahead. The following day, I fell into a deep slumber, feeling the first tingles on my breasts, a sensation that would accompany me for the next few years. When I awoke, not much seemed to have changed, except that my skin felt slightly softer, perhaps. However, over the course of the next few days, something extraordinary happened. I underwent a noticeable and significant feminization, particularly in my facial features. My face radiated with a soft femininity. The fat around my cheekbones became more pronounced, causing my face to resemble that of a woman. As the weeks went by, my breasts began to bud, starting with puffy nipples. I could feel the firmness beneath them, signaling the beginning of their growth. I hadn't expected the estrogen to impact me all at once: face, breasts, waist, hips, in a gradual yet rapid manner. It was a transformative experience. I distinctly remember walking past a mirror and noticing a generous curve in my back pocket. To my delight, it wasn't my wallet that was responsible for my enhanced posterior. I had developed a voluptuous booty, which felt amazing. My figure underwent further changes. My arms naturally fell to my sides, leaving a newfound gap at my waist. Just below my increasingly pronounced breasts, I experienced a slimness that extended into my developing hourglass shape. Wearing my feminine shirts, tailored with princess seams, became a source of joy as they accentuated my small curves and draped over the emerging shelf of my shapely derriere. Crossdressing took on a whole new level of eroticism, immersing me in a deep sense of femininity that was intoxicating. I would try on my clothes repeatedly, twirling for hours in front of the mirror, reveling in the reflection of my long hair cascading around me, and relishing the sensation of flowing dresses. However, despite my immense enjoyment, I remained in the closet. My plan, I suppose, was to gradually become more feminine until the scales tipped in favor of girlhood, and my outward femininity would naturally overtake my masculine presentation. Throughout my senior year of high school, I continued to present myself as a boy in public, even as my changing body became increasingly evident. I often caught people staring at my budding chest or receiving comments about the softness of my skin, the prominence of my cheekbones, or the shape of my butt. It was both terrifying and intensely arousing. In response, I would instinctively break into a delighted girl's face, followed by a giggle. I divert the love-hate relationship with being misgendered. After graduating from high school, I found a job and met a group of girls whom I hadn't known before. They were around my age and stunningly beautiful. All three of them developed crushes on me, but on the version of me they perceived as a boy. Our dynamic as a group was somewhat flirtatious, with each of us vying for each other's attention, secretly hoping for something more, while also being cautious not to disrupt the harmony within our circle. One particular day, when we were all together, the girl I liked the most, Brooke, was engrossed in admiring her own appearance. She possessed a captivating beauty, with her makeup applied in an understated manner. She wore a black zip-up hoodie that hugged her figure and was slightly unzipped to reveal her neckline. Her long brunette hair, as lustrous as mine, cascaded over her cleavage from the camisole she wore. Skinny jeans with strategic rips adorned her smooth, shaved legs, and she sported the most adorable pair of flats, black canvas shoes featuring a charming floral bow at the toe. I couldn't help but feel envious of those adorable shoes Brooke had on. They were simply darling. Brooke stood before a full-length mirror, running her hands through her hair. She reached down, cupping both her breasts and perked them up, proclaiming her love for femininity. Each of the other girls, in turn, agreed, expressing their own admiration for being feminine. And then, almost simultaneously, they all turned their gaze towards me. "Can we dress you up?" they asked, their eyes gleaming with excitement. I smiled at them, perhaps a bit too eagerly, and replied, "Yes, please." Amidst giggles and a sense of eager anticipation, they led me to Brooke's room. They started pulling out clothes and engaging in animated discussions about which items would go well together. Skirts, jeans, and various garments were handed to me to hold against the respective area of my body where they would fit. The girls deliberated over their choices. "Take your shirt off," one of them nervously requested. I removed my hoodie and pulled down my undershirt, attempting to flatten and conceal what they were about to discover. I revealed myself to them, and their reaction was a chorus of "Oh my God, you have boobs." "One of my bras," Brooke exclaimed. She squeezed my chest, lifting and releasing my breasts, causing them to thud against my chest. I tried to contain my excitement, knowing that the entire situation was intoxicating. Brooke fastened the bra onto me, had me put my arms through the straps, and then reached into the cups to adjust and lift each breast. "There you go," she said with a smile. "Look at you, pouring out of an egg cup. You don't even need a push-up." The girls stared at my small hourglass figure, exchanging questioning glances, but ultimately leaving the subject untouched. "I think she needs a dress," one of them suggested. In a whirlwind, a dress was placed over my head, and my long hair was pulled out from the neckline. It was a skater dress, above the knee, with a boat neck, white with a red and black floral design. From my point of view, I could see the dress and my breasts within it, and they appeared larger than life. It was an exhilarating sight. Suddenly, a flurry of femininity enveloped me. My stud earrings were replaced with hoops, and my face received a complete makeover. Foundation, blush, eyeliner, mascara, and lip gloss. My hair was brushed and adorned with a small clip. I felt undeniably pretty, surpassing any attempts I could have made on my own, and I felt confident knowing that I could be like this in front of these girls because they had invited it and accepted it. Underneath my dress, I still had my boy pants and sneakers on. When the girls had finished getting me this far, they handed me a small pile of clothing and instructed me to change in the bathroom. Inside, I examined the items with a racing heart. As I lifted the first piece from the pile, black leggings with lace cuffs, a sense of excitement surged through me. Beneath them lay a pair of cute panties, along with Brooke's canvas flats, the very ones she had been wearing earlier. They still carried a warmth that somehow heightened my arousal. When I emerged from the bathroom, I was nearly all girl. At least, that's how I felt. The girls looked me up and down, their smiles growing wider as they exclaimed how pretty and authentic I looked. The sense of authenticity was overwhelming. "You're one of us now," they declared, as we all began to jump and giggle, our hair bouncing together. Someone played Be My Lover by the Spice Girls, and we sang and danced, reveling in the moment until the song came to an end. The remainder of the day was spent simply hanging out as girls. We took a stroll around the neighborhood, testing my bravery. I felt nervous, but my worries were eased when someone pointed out our reflections in a sliding glass window. "We're just girls," Brooke reassured me, and indeed, it was more than okay. It was truly awesome. Upon returning to Brooke's house, the other girls bid their farewells and headed home. I decided to stay with Brooke for a while, partly because I was reluctant to change back and partly out of curiosity about what might unfold. Brooke mixed us some margaritas, and we sat, sipping our drinks and engaging in conversation. In a light-hearted moment, I jokingly mentioned that I felt right, adjusting my breasts for emphasis. She looked at me, her gaze warm and understanding, and responded, "You look right." She reached over, delicately fixing a strand of my hair, and we found ourselves face to face, sharing a connection that went beyond words. See you all again on Femtales channel.